Hey everybody, welcome back here to Weather on the Go. All your weather coverage on this Saturday, September 27th, 2025. We have two tropical systems that are going to make heavy impact to the United States and areas nearby into the Caribbean. We're going to be talking about the impacts they could bring, the track of these systems, which is very important as well. We're going to look here at your short and long range forecasts across North America, especially the United States, giving you a diagnosis on what to expect the first half of October. So what you can do, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Turn the post notification bell on and turn it on to all so you get all my videos, all my live streams here on the channel. Like the video if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. For some reason, I just cannot get my videos out to as many people as possible. So if you guys can help with liking the video, sharing it with as many people as possible, it really helps out more than you know. Let's talk here about Humberto. This is a major hurricane, and you can see on the satellite view a donut hole here in the middle with a big eye wall. Has a lot of convection around it as well near the eye wall. Very powerful Category 4 hurricane. And then here is Tropical Depression 9, which is likely to become Imelda over the next few days. This is the system that is gearing up to impact the United States more directly than Humberto will. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on this one. No surprise that these systems are thriving in a lot of thermodynamically favorable environment here in the Bahamas, just north of Cuba, and then where Humberto is over here in the southwest Atlantic as well. Well above normal sea surface temperatures, water temperatures that are well into the 80s, even low 90s the closer to the Bahamas you get. So these systems are going to continue to strengthen as we go through the next couple of days. And actually, looking here at the Atlantic, there's Humberto just to the north of the Leeward Islands. That is going to be continuing off to its west and northwest trajectory. Then you have Tropical Depression 9 that is just off the north coast there of Cuba, moving in there toward the Bahamas. Let's look here at Major Hurricane Humberto. Again, this is a Category 4 hurricane. It is moving west-northwest to 8 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds of 145 miles per hour, and it is likely to remain major hurricane all the way through midweek by about Tuesday evening before continuing as a hurricane in the North Atlantic as it races more away from the North America coastline into the North Atlantic by later on in the week. Here's Tropical Depression 9. It is going to likely become a tropical storm here really today. There are tropical storm warnings up for all of the islands there of the Bahamas and tropical storm watches up for the east coast of Florida. And this is likely to become a hurricane as it makes that sharp right-hand turn away from the Georgia and South Carolina coast and moves due east once we get towards the middle and latter half of the week. But that will still bring a lot of impacts even far and wide outside of this cone as well. So be keeping an eye on that. Let's look here at the scenarios that could unfold with both of these systems. This is the European model. Notice Humberto very strong on here. There is what is Tropical Depression 9, likely to become Imelda today. And as we go into tomorrow, we're going to see that strengthen into a tropical storm, impacting largely a lot of the islands there in the Bahamas. And then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, going to be closing in here on the United States southeast coastline, the east coast of Florida, where those tropical storm watches are, the coastline of Georgia and Carolinas, Charleston, all the way up there toward Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, keeping a very close eye on the flooding threat, as this is going to have a lot of tropical moisture to work with, and it's going to be slowing down as it makes that right-hand turn. The GFS model is very similar in this as well, which gives us a lot of confidence as this is going to near the coast and then move off to the east there, as Humberto is a stronger of the two, right? Humberto is a Category 4 hurricane, likely to remain a Cat 3 or 4 going through Tuesday evening. That is going to kind of pull almost like a magnet, Imelda further away from the southeast coast and kind of be our saving grace, at least from a landfall. But if you do look at the AI model, it has a little bit different of a scenario, as it kind of has Humberto getting a little bit closer and kind of repelling it further west and inland there toward the coast of Georgia, so Savannah, Georgia, or South Carolina. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, got to watch this closely, as this still cannot rule out a landfalling system that just sits over South Carolina or Georgia as we go through the week here this upcoming week. So with all the scenarios in mind, let's look at the rainfall impacts, because there's a lot of tropical moisture with this system. Just off the coast, up to 30 inches worth of rainfall. Even on the coast there, Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, down there toward Charleston, could be seeing double-digit rainfall totals. Same deal, maybe a little bit further off the coast with those double-digit rainfall totals on the GFS model. But here's a reasonable scenario. This is your national blend of models. It puts all the models together into a mean and averages them out, and you can still see Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, up there towards Cape Hatteras. There could be a corridor there on the eastern Carolinas that could get anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of rain, with the double-digit 12 plus inches off the coast there, barely, of the Carolinas. But we'll be keeping an eye on those trends, because if the AI model's right and it sits over South Carolina, Georgia, this could bring those heavier 12-inch plus totals more inland to South Carolina and to Georgia. So be keeping an eye on the key trends. Looking at the East Pacific, it is quiet a little bit, but we are going to start to get more active as we go into early October. And you can see we're going to see more systems developing there just near the coast of Mexico, and could be impacting Mexico in some sort of way as we go into the first week of October. Be keeping a very close eye on that. That's the European ensemble guidance. Here's the GFS ensemble guidance for what that is worth, and you can see there are members on here that does show that as well. And looking here at the long-range tropical outlook, the MJO pattern, the Madden-Julian oscillation, is going to favor the East Pacific once again once we get to the first half of October. So once we're done with Humberto and Imelda, we're going to swing that MJO pattern over here into the East Pacific, and it's going to be more favorable, at least through October 15th or so, in the East Pacific for more tropical storms and hurricanes, with a pretty high likelihood of that happening as we go through the first 2 weeks of October. Now let's look here at the mainland United States and North America. And as you look outdoors, besides the East Coast or the desert Southwest, sun-splashed skies with lots of blue sky out there, lots of sunshine prevailing, especially in the central United States from the Midwest all the way down into the lower Mississippi Valley. And the reason being is because in this orange or tan shaded color, that is your ridge of high pressure building across portions of the northern U.S. We got lower pressure down here creating cloud cover and precipitation for the desert Southwest. We got another one here in blue across the southeast, and then another one up there into central Canada. And all three of those are producing lots of cloud cover, extensive cloud cover that is keeping us a little bit cooler, and precipitation there as well. Here are your temperatures for this afternoon. We're expected to see the mid-upper 80s for the Illinois Valley there, all the way back here towards central Texas, even some low 90s sprinkled in there into Oklahoma and Texas today. Here's where we start your Sunday morning. If you're heading off to any church services or have any errands to run on Sunday morning, we have a lot of 40s and 50s up there. Cooler starts of the morning into the upper Midwest, a little bit milder to the south where we have more 50s and 60s to start the day on Sunday. And then going into Sunday afternoon, where we start in the 40s, we're going to end up in the 70s there across Minnesota, northern Iowa, Wisconsin, and northern Michigan. Also cooler in the northeast, and then more mid and upper 80s to near 90 across the south central U.S. in general, with some of those warmer 90s extending even up into South Dakota. Rapid City forecasted at 90 there on Sunday. Looking at precipitation for the weekend, it looks more tied to the tropics, so we're going to be keeping an eye on Imelda and Humberto across the southeast, like we just mentioned at the beginning of the video. We also have a low-pressure trough down here in the desert southwest that could spread some moisture in across the Four Corners region. Our friends over there in Vegas, even San Diego, could see some rain showers at times as we go through the weekend. But notice the gap here in the middle. We have no precipitation expected this weekend, both today and tomorrow, across the Midwest, the Central Plains, Southern Plains, and the lower Mississippi Valley, and I want to add even the Ohio Valley will be dry as well. Now, going into the new work week, Monday, September 29th, through the opening stages of October through Friday, October 3rd, you can see warmer temperatures, warmer than normal across the northern United States, from the northern plains into the upper Midwest and southern Canada, and we're going to see a drier pattern persist and prevail across the central and eastern U.S. outside of the tropical influence for the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. But a big trough coming in across the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Medford, Boise, all the way back down into Reno. We could be seeing potentially well above normal precipitation going through next week. Again, between Monday, September 29th and Friday, October 3rd. We're going to look at that here, and you can see rainfall overspreading those areas we just mentioned across the Pacific Northwest as we go into Monday and Monday night. Going into Tuesday, we got another batch of moisture coming in, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's going to be a daily barrage of rainfall across the Pacific Northwest as we go through Friday, October 3rd, heading through next week. Now, going even further out into the long range, into the second week of October, Monday, October 6th, which is the following Monday, through Friday, October 10th, warmer than normal conditions are likely across much of the United States and southern Canada, especially there in the central U.S., and we're going to see an active pattern. Now, it's a little muddy right now, but you can see there is definitely the potential of above normal precipitation showing up, a signal anyway for that across the Midwest, and you can see the European model is showing a cold front, and I haven't backed away from this. In a lot of my videos I've been posting, I say the second week of October, because of that recurving typhoon in the West Pacific about 7 to 10 days ago, that is going to lead to a stronger cold front across the central U.S., and I continue to advertise that on my forecast. So you can see pretty strong front could bring maybe some severe weather to that. The GFS American guidance is also in line with that as well. So a cold front is expected by that second week of October, and that could bring the potential for some severe weather to the plains and even parts of the Midwest. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we do get closer to the second week of the new month of October. Hey, if you guys did enjoy my weather forecast, please like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel as we do daily weather forecast breakdown when it's active, and sometimes twice a day when we need it. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.